However, we bought some cheap battery pack with some plastic. And the thing that I didn't think about is this plastic can actually be break. If there's a hole in this plastic, the whole liquid, which is a specific liquid for that, you're gonna empty. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go in, right? I'm gonna go like this, and I'm gonna do myself a little protection, a little condom. The ID goes from a condom. So, when using a knife, of course, be careful, please. There you go. Perfect. And then, let's do back hand. We'll do this. Perfect. We left a little bit we left a little bit of extra. Why? Well, first of all, we can decide how we fold it. Well, how much like that? Like that. Look at this. This is perfect. Now, I brought some good old masking tape. A gift from my ex job. That way the phone will cool down in my room. Anything for you. Now you see, a bit harder because first of all, the plastic is a bit colder. Second of all, the plastic is a bit wet. So this isn't waterproof. There goes the gentleman. A reinforced condom ice pack. The plastic was found in my garbage. The tape was found at work. So when you want to be cheap, you can be cheap. Anyway, I love you guys. Take it easy. Please do anything for you. Choo-doo-doo. Choo-doo-choo. Choo-choo. Ba-da-dum. Do anything for you. Choo-doo-doo. Choo-choo. Choo-choo. Think that out. Choo-choo-choo-choo. How about the cinema? Mosquito. Oh, I see you first, see you. Oh, there you go.
Tumbling is your way.
Somebody once told me the world ain't gonna run me.
I have a gift for you to commemorate this day, Princess Nadia.
Max Odyssey. Mosquitoes are hanging around. What video can we do? What video can we do? Wi-Fi Club is the best piece of content. All sacrifices, how hard a job was, my budget projecting. YouTube article for gaming, Gundam Life, Opalai. Okay. Link to buying. Welcome to the show. Definitely we also having a wonderful day on this 15 July 2025. You guys, today we're doing a special video and I am so excited about this. Now, technically speaking, this is not a reaction. I did a lot of reaction lately. I was thinking about doing a reaction to this specific video. His name was Kill. Sorry, my love. Sorry, my heart. So yeah, so I was thinking about doing a reaction, but then it's kind of convoluted. So today is July 15th. We're gonna do a special video. I'm super excited because I like talking about history, right? So I live in an old town. It's a small town, but it has a lot of history. I like talking about it. I like about the story of my life, story of gaming, shit like that. But I've never, and I mean ever, talk about a historical moment on YouTube. And drumroll please, the moment that we're talking about is the 15th July 2025. Whoa, I don't know what it is. July 15th, I don't know what it is. What year was it? Well, it was 2018, yeah, because we were working. So today we're talking about Fusi Con, which is kind of like cool because we're gonna go in a sort of a story track. Now, the recap. First of all, I've been reacting to a lot of videos lately, so I'm not done with reaction. I'm not tired of it, but I don't want my content to only be that, right? Second of all, it'll be a little bit of a mental. It's a little bit of a mental exercise to come back to reaction. Most of the content I could find to react to was from haters, from clown, from drama alert. So a lot of those things, they were against Fusi a little bit. Now, I'm not an historian, right? This was important for me for a couple of reasons, which we're gonna get into a little bit later on, if I'm being honest. But it's just one of my favorite things on YouTube. Why? Well, first of all, right, I started working on the 18th July 2008, 2 days after this event happened. My first day at the longest job that I had, which was 8 years, which is closed right now, sadly. I would still be there otherwise. The longest, the first day of work that I had, I listened to Fusi 2, Alternate Reality. Now, before we start, what's important? Oh, again, first day I'm working on this. Second of all, it was technically speaking the first YouTube documentary I ever saw. Now with the streaming, I think a lot of it in the back of my mind or in the background. By the way, if you didn't notice yet, I'm not English. I'm always translating. This is why my speech is so weird. Thank you for noticing. Why is Fusi important to me? Fusi is important to me because we share the same birthday. It was born 22nd January 2025. I don't know its year, but it's 22 January. I'm 22 January 1993. I have the same birthday. When you look at the celebrities on my birthday, he's the most relatable one. Was I ever a fan of Fusi? See, Fusi was weird because I was watching shit like Angry Grandpa. I was watching shit like Major League. When I started watching YouTube, then there was always this romantic aspect, girlfriend versus boyfriend. And if you really had to know the lore, I'm gonna say something that I don't mean as a bad thing. Something with it sounded like Frank versus girlfriend. You really had to follow the show, not the show, but the different videos, right? Or for example, also YouTube at that time was a lot of skits. For example, one of the most popular channel at that time was freaking Epic Mealtime. And Epic Mealtime was a video for 10 minutes, right? Completely unrelated. Ruben Atwood was more so vlogging content, so you could watch them, right? And then one of the only I would watch was Fusi. Now, why did I watch Fusi? Because Fusi was different. Fusi was going to be he's living in a homeless person. He constantly had a struggle between this fame and this normalcy. My personal issue was a struggle between good and evil. I was raised very differently. My mom, which is super kind, my father, which is sort of an honest asshole. Super nice, super kind, a good dude. However, if he doesn't like you, he's gonna tell you, I don't like you. My mom's like, I'm not gonna talk to you. My father's like, fuck you, I don't like you. So, in my childhood, I was stuck in between. When I had my father, who has a lot of success in life and is very respected, or my mom, who is beloved. What do I want? The respect or the love, which again was a situation of evil versus good. Love is good. Respect sometimes is evil. You don't respect your. You respect somebody because they're successful. You don't love them because they're successful, right? So Fusi was that, and then, but ultimately speaking, I didn't really follow him. He was entertaining for a couple of videos. Now Fusi was actually one of the most important person, in my opinion, on my YouTube history. Why? Well, first of all, he was this guy that was watching, that started exposing prank content, how fake it was and how everything was faked. Now I, as a young watcher, we're talking about 14, 15, was victim of bullying. So this whole story of prank to me was like, holy shit, this is not good, because the famous is just a prank, bro. Fuck you. So I was like, no, fuck that. I don't want to be part of this. I don't want to be part of this whole mentality of pranking a complete random stranger, right? So by exposing that, you kind of put a dent, because everybody was doing that. Everybody was doing that. Fake drama, Rice Gum, Logan Paul, people like that, right? And then you kind of expose that, and I was like, okay, well, this is super refreshing. This is low-key, high-key refreshing. But then, this is at my parents' house. Then I moved out of my parents' house, and I lived at my mom's house. So my dad was the person that raised me. My mom raised me also, but my mom had me 2 days out of 12, 2 days out of 14. So my father was the person that was in charge of everything. So I lived at my mom's house. My mom's house is very much of a lovely mother, but very enabling. You want to eat 4 slices of pizza, Steph? No problem. Which is why I got super fat. So I come in the apartment, and I'm like, okay, well, my mom is a slave to her work. My father isn't a slave to his work. My mom was a slave to her work because she was the person that you rely on. It's this person's birthday. When can you pick up the cake? My mom doesn't drive. Can you pick up the cake? Bro, I'm not fucking driving. How am I supposed to take the cake? But she was nice to say no. So I get to my mom's house. In my mom's house, I get a lot of weight. So my mom, again, a slave. My father was the same thing, but worse. My father had a mentality of a 9 to 5, but he was so proud of his job, so proud of his work, that he kept on talking about his work. So I was like, dude, you're at home. Talk about the family, not go at work. You know, so my father, just like me, was very vocal, so very much of a talker. Now the problem with that is that it was a case of, I thought both of my parents, you know, like, they aren't living to work, they aren't working to live, they're living to work. I'm like, fuck no. This isn't me, this shouldn't be you, but it's not me. So I got home, right, and I'm broke. When I say broke, I'm not broke. I have $2,700 in the bank. My rent is $475. I buy food from Dollarama. I swear to God. I watch manga on an application where you can download manga. I am listening to the radio. I am playing emulator. Why? Because this allowed me to take a full year off my sabbatical years before I started really working. And I had enough money. I never had to work one day. And then, guess what I did? I had a gym. My whole life was gym. I got back into shape. Now, here's a crazy story. I buy this phone, right? And this is my first real phone. It's a Sony Xperia V2. And I'm downloading freaking videos. And I'm only British piano and everything like that. Because, again, I'm obsessed with that. I'm obsessed with losing weight. I'm obsessed with weightlifting. At the time, my goal was to be a bodybuilder. I'm 20 years old. So my entire watch history is Rich Piana. Rich Piana was a god to me. Why? He was swearing, he was tattooed. He was everything I wanted to be. I was watching the Arch Twin. because the odd string was just funny. They were just fucking funny. And then we had Fusi. And I remember Fusi, and I was like, holy shit. And Fusi did, like, oh, I lost a lot of weight. And I'm like, dude, this is actually what I'm trying to do. And I knew we had the same birthday, so I'm like, holy shit. This is my motivation. So I started following Fusi. Then again, I lose Fusi. I lose sight of Fusi because the problem with Fusi is that he's inconsistent. He'll work fucking hard for 1 year. Post videos twice, 4 times a day. Then he'll disappear. Now, of course, he wasn't gonna get Drake. He never met Drake. However, one of those guys, fucking Mosquito City, right? One of those guys was who? Was Dax. Dax wasn't popular back then. And now, he's just huge. To me, Dax is as big as Tom McDonald, right? They're both super big artists. So Dax being there is kind of like a cool thing. Then he has this venue, which is a Greek theater, which is again super important to me because my favorite movie is Get Into the Greek with Jonah Hill and Russell Brand. One of my favorite movies. I think this movie is hilarious but also very meaningful. So I'm like, holy shit, this is something. Now, what went wrong? Fusi kind of saw too big. He was too stressed. He thought it was going to be the most of the year. Fusi's biggest flaw, the biggest mistake that he did, he was late. He was late. This is supposed to be meaning the world to you, and you come in like an hour late. You know? You have a person like Tana who does like TanaCon, right? TanaCon, and I was young. Tana was young. She made mistakes. It happens. Fusi had a team behind him. He had people behind him, right? And then at the same time, the July 15th was when even worse is that he had a person called Keemstar, and I'm not a protector. Nobody cares about, right? But it still happened. The July still happened. I think the whole thing is pretty sad. The intention were good. But at the same time, you can have the best intention. If you change nothing, if you say tomorrow, oh, I'm going to change the world, and you don't do it, then they say that. They say intention. And intention can only buy you a good. I think the real question isn't that. I think the real question is, if Fusi wasn't manic, would he if Fusi wasn't manic, would he have done that? Would he have done the whole show? I don't know. My problem also with Fusi, I finish that because it's already a long video. The biggest problem with Fusi is people like Adam Saleh. People like Tyler Perry. It's people like Roman Atwood. People like Vitaly. Vitaly's an asshole. Don't get me wrong, he's an asshole. But all of these people, at one point or the other, worked with Fusi. And at one point or the other, they broke the relationship, they broke the friendship with Fusi. See, if you're in a room full of people, and a couple of people say you're an asshole, it's not a big deal. If you're in a room full of people and the whole room is saying that you're an asshole, you're an asshole. You know? And then, at the same time, I felt so bad because the first thing that he did after that, and again, I'm not a fan of Logan Paul at all. That's not true. That's not true. I was a fan of his vlogs. I thought it was funny. Yeah. It was cringe, but it was funny also. He did all those scams. The Forest, horrible. The scam, worse. Like, fuck you. But the first thing that Fusi did after the whole thing. He came back after a year and did a podcast with Logan Paul. And then Logan let something slip that is important. He let something slip that was important. Fusi was the one that asked or offered to do an interview. So he kind of used the platform of Logan Paul. Then Bradley Martin, who has a podcast of Raw Talk, said the same thing. Fusi was the one that said something. I always have the problem with self-promotion. I always have the problem with someone asking to be on your podcast. If I'm inviting you, I'm inviting you. Now, of course, there's another thing where, for example, there's this big star, and they're saying, hey, they're a fan of you. And they're the agents, say, oh, they're a fan of you. And if you went to invite them, you'd be open to, you know? Again, I've been building my channel for 4 years. People have used me, people have did that. And nobody hates it. Nobody likes a user. Anyway, I love you guys, take it easy. Peace.